Welcome back to One Time Gaming. And actually, you know what? No, I'm just gonna post this on the main channel. I'm lying. Anyway, welcome back. And today we're gonna be talking about Helldivers. And as you already know, Helldivers is a game where you're basically going from planet to planet, killing giant insects and monsters and whatnot. And it actually has a few core demographics that kinda are similar to some other games that I just couldn't wrap my mind around. Now, me personally, I haven't played the game. If anything, everybody is saying that this game is literally the reality of Starship Troopers. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it. It's definitely recommended. And they saying that the weapon picks are good, that the mechanics of it are good, and it's more hyper realistic of a space drive, though almost as realistic as this Warhammer game we're gonna be getting. I'm not talking about that right now. So essentially, my whole entire thing was to decipher this like bit by bit. And as I kept seeing people play this game, I said, "Yeah, this kind of reminds me of games I used to play, but more old-fashioned and more fair and high regard." The two new games that I'm actually gonna be talking about is games I never talk about with anybody, and people probably don't even remember these games. It was Lost Planet 2 and Earth Defense Force. Now, Lost Planet 2 was actually one of my favorites growing up as a kid, and I gotta say, it definitely lives up to the hype of you killing these Category G acrid, which are basically, giant abnormalities in the earth, like giant insects, giant lizards, and other things of a giant nature. But in a more retrospective sense, I would say that this one definitely compares to Helldivers in a but more good old fashioned way. I mean, it's one of the games that was made by Capcom and received a lot of praise, but Lost Planet 3 was not good. It just was. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. I mean, being trapped on an ice planet fighting giant crabs is good and all, but I mean, I would like the more free roam aspect of it. But getting on topic, yeah. So essentially, that one is a almost completely similar game to Helldivers, but I would definitely say it almost fails in comparison compared to Earth Defense Force. Now, Earth Defense Force is a lot different. It has a lot of sequels, and it even like gives you through the like retrospect of how you go in fighting from giant insects to literally fighting giant kaiju monsters. I'm not even sure how that worked, but yeah, essentially the entirety of the game is you just going around. You got a few classes that you could choose from, which is the support, guardian, and Valkyries, and you essentially go around killing giant spiders and giant insects and aliens that come to a planet and giant robots. And I feel as though this is what Helldivers was probably taking inspiration out of, but I can't say that for sure because it probably is an original idea that they had the concept of and they've been thinking about for a long time. But I definitely will say that these two games are actually innately similar on how they got up to Helldivers. Helldivers is actually a really good game of like a multiplayer facet, being trapped on a planet where you have to fight giant insects in order to survive. Though the live stream surface, I don't think it's like relative to it. I think it's just more server based from what I'm seeing. But if you guys have any recommendations on any games that you believe are innately similar to it, or do you think that there very well could be something potentially better for it for the future, then feel free to let me know, because I actually do think that this is gonna revolutionize the whole entire arch of like free to play mobile. Like, this is what Mass Effect honestly should have been. I'm just being honest with you. We need some was talking about Destiny, because Destiny, they they got some competition with this one. This is almost kind of a formulaic way of Destiny, but a lot more catastrophic looking. But yeah, that's been it for the one time gaming, and this is my critique.